Hey fam, it's your girl Valika B with the Valika B Project. We are here again with What Would the Church Say? New season, new episode. I also have my co-host in the building. Co-host,
Hey, y'all.
introduce yourself, co-host.
Yeah. My name is Renee Burt. I'm the co-host and photographer extraordinaire.
Oh, now you trying to claim your identity. Come on, sis. That's what I'm talking about.
Claim it.
Renee, today I feel like we talked about the wilderness last week, right?
Yeah, yep.
I want to kind of jump in on bleeding out. It's two different things of bleeding out. When I think about bleeding out, or when I heard from the Holy Spirit, what do bleeding out mean? For instance, I was talking to one of my pastor friends, and he is going through a whole lot right now. So I told him, I said, maybe you need to take some time. Take some time, not step back from the pulpit. And please hear me when I say this. Don't quote me crazy, y'all. But maybe you need to take some time to kind of gather yourself to really hear from God. And it's like a healing process of what you're dealing with. He's dealing with death in the family and a couple of more things. And I said, what you don't want to do is bleed out over the pulpit. That's what I told him a couple of weeks ago, right? So when I was really crying out to God, when I had that hard wilderness season that I was talking about last week, I heard God clear tell me to bleed out.
Wow.
And I was like, God, I just told such and such, you need to stop bleeding out over the pulpit. But now you're telling me to bleed out. I'm confused. And he said, your bleed out is, I need you to pour out, empty out. Because you have so much on this inside of this cup. You got to empty that cup in order to receive me, in order to hear from me. So that was the thing of bleeding out in that particular season, in the particular season that I'm going through right now. So Renee, my question is, when you first heard the phrase, and I know you don't heard the phrase bleeding out before, right? When you first heard that particular phrase, what came to your mind when you heard bleeding out?
Honestly, it was tearing up your heart. Tearing up your heart to the point where you expose everything bare to God. Because that's more or less how you, so like in the Bible, when they're in mourning, they'll throw on sackcloth and throw ash on their head to signify that they're in mourning. We need to do the same thing to our hearts. We need to tear up our hearts in front of God. So that means, to me, bearing it all.
Bearing it all. That's good. That's good.
Yeah. Even the things that you think, because God knows everything, but just saying it, and I've been there. Just saying it, I'm sorry for A, B, C, D, E, F, and G. Just, I'm this, I'm that, I'm that. Fix me, Lord. Like completely exposing your heart to God. That's what that is to me.
So my question to you, Renee, is how can this connect back to what we were talking about last week, that wilderness season?
Yeah.
You know what? Because if we're talking about the same thing that I heard God tell me, is to kind of pour out. You need to pour out, bleed out, pour out. So in that wilderness season, be alone. I was alone, right?
Yep.
You need to be alone in order to hear from me.
Yeah.
But Valika, you're alone, but you still have a lot in that cup.
A lot.
So I need for you to pour out the stuff that you're carrying.
And
like clean out that closet. You got so much baggage in that closet. You have all these clothes that you still have in your closet that's
holding on
outdated.
To.
You can't wear. So you need to release all this stuff. Let it go.
Yeah. I think being in the wilderness is your time to bleed out. And you're right under his protection, his covering, his comfort, his care. And you're not under any judgment because he knows everything that you said, done, and thought. I think right then you're in the wilderness and sometimes in the place where he needs you to be. Completely bare and exposed. So you don't hide anything from him.
Somebody hit you with something. So, do you think that God sometimes requires us to bleed out? And when I say bleed out, to release that unforgiveness,
Girl,
hidden pains,
Stop
before he can heal us.
I think you have to get to some level of bleeding out, and bleeding out can also be confession. You confess everything, where now that you openly admitted it and you have it exposed, now I can step in, because now you recognize that this is something that needs to pour out of you. It needs to completely come out. You need to bleed it out. So no, I 100% believe that that's what we have to do sometimes.
Well, Renee, let me ask you this.
Come on now.
What if we can forgive, we can finally say, hey, God, I can forgive the one who did wrong to me, but you're still holding on to unforgiveness for yourself, for things you have done in the past.
For myself?
For yourself.
I'm a victim. I'm a victim. A victim of holding on to things for myself. Where God has forgiven me, other people have forgiven me, but I haven't forgiven myself. And I think we're hardest on ourselves.
Yeah.
And we judge ourselves way harsher than God ever would, or anybody else.
But why do you feel that? Do you feel like it's some type of insecurity, or
it may not just, it might be insecurity, but it could be about something you've done.
Right.
That you've asked for forgiveness about, but you still feel shame about it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, yeah.
Right.
I've been there.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
You got something?
Girl, she hitting hard today, ain't she? So let me ask you this.
Okay.
How can you tell the difference between the enemy trying to destroy us and God allowing us to release something?
That's a good question.
That's a good question.
That's a good question. I guess it still goes back to having the intimate time with God, to be able to hear from him.
Yeah.
If you can really hear from him, then you can understand, okay, this is attack from the enemy, or God saying, no, I allowed this to happen for this particular reason. Like me, like my wilderness that I'm dealing with, God had to give me a friendly reminder, no, the enemy is attacking, but I allow it to happen because you forgot about me. You didn't put me first. You kept putting me second to everything else. You were too busy. You was too busy running to church. You were too busy playing church. Like, seriously, those are the things that I kept hearing. So no, I allowed this to happen because I need for you to get close to me, and you need to be able to depend on me. So those are the things that I was hearing.
Wow.
So, but you have to get to that place where you're going to be able to pray, fast, and have that intimate time with God.
I think it's a beautiful thing that when we stray outside of those lines, that God talks to you and pull you back in. And it's even more beautiful when we let it happen. And we know he's calling. We know we need to submit in some area of our life.
Right.
And he pulls us back in.
Right.
And sometimes we just do like this. It's like a zigzag. I'm in and I'm out. But God's grace is what allow it. That it's a reminder to me to say, hey, even when I mess up, I can still come back to God. He won't abandon me. He won't push me away.
And he won't judge you.
And he won't judge me. He already knew or knows what we are going to do or have done before we even done it.
Right.
So humble ourselves. And I think it's a pride thing because it's like, well, I don't have time for that right now.
Right.
Or I'll get back to that. But it's a pride thing. You
Pride.
got to stop and humble yourself and admit, I was wrong. God, please forgive me. Help me get back on track. You're acknowledging that you consistently need God.
Right.
Consistently.
Right. So Renee, when did you personally learn or realize that you have gone through that particular, your own bleeding moment, your own bleeding out moment? Give an example of, if you can.
I can. I was going through anxiety bad. I mean, bad to the point where it wasn't only mental, it was now physical because I was having heart palpitations. My heart was skipping beats and nobody around me understood. They was like, are you okay? You crazy? You this? What's wrong with you? Try to yell it out of you, but it wasn't let me tell you. I was going through anxiety so bad. I was 25 years old and my cardiologist, because I was seeing one because of my heart, and he was like, you are too young for this. I was on 25 milligram atenolol, which is a high blood pressure medication and a beta blocker.
Gotcha.
He was like, why are you on this medication? He was like, whatever it is you got going on, you need to eat right, you need to pray, you need to exercise. I dropped to my knees one day because I could not take it anymore. Jamal and Isaiah went to the store and I just fell to my knees. And I said, Lord, whatever it is, I'm sorry. Forgive me for everything. And then I started going down the list and started naming stuff. I kid you not. In a month's time, I got off of that medication and my anxiety abated.
That's good.
Completely, because I had to, whatever it was I was carrying, I got tired. And I was like, Lord, I need you to take this from me. I don't know what this is. And he did.
That's good.
I went through anxiety for several years. It was bad. And I was in the wilderness. I was by myself. Nobody understood. And it wasn't until I called on God. And that's when I felt like somebody was finally walking with me and understood. Yeah, that was my wilderness. That's and good. My bleeding out.
That's good. That's good. That's good. You have anything for me before I ask you the next one?
No, you're good. You're good.
All right. For someone that's listening right now, what's one practical way to start surrendering or bleeding out as well? So give us an example. I know you just gave us your experience, but can you kind of give the audience or our family members how they can surrender?
Everybody's way of surrendering is not going to be the same.
Yeah.
For me, I just had to fall out on the floor.
Yeah.
I did. For other people, it's just going to be throwing your hands up. It's just going to be, just say, Lord, I was wrong. Whatever the Holy Spirit convicts you to do, that's what you need to do. I can't give one way because it's going to be different for everybody.
Right.
For me, it was just literally falling out on the floor and crying out, asking for help.
That's good. Do you have any other questions before we log out of this particular broadcast?
Yeah, I just want to know, so what are the dangers if we don't obey that call to bleed out? What if we don't obey?
If you do not obey the call to bleed out, you're going to cause more stress, more anxiety, more pressure on your life. Yeah. It's almost like, no, it's not almost. You're being disobedient to what God have told you to do. And that come with consequences, right?
It does.
So it's you continue to walk in disobedience. After God have already told you to release, pour it out, and give it to me. Surrender.
Yeah.
So that's all of the anxiety. That's all of the stress. That's all the things. You keep walking into walls. You keep walking into doors. You keep staying on a job or a relationship that's pouring out that you know that God didn't call you to be in.
Yep.
So those are the things. That's the anxiety that people have. Exactly. That's the heartaches, the headaches, and the different complications that they're dealing with. So it's a form of disobedience.
It is.
Yeah.
And yeah, you have spiritual implications, but the physical implications are very, very real. They're very real. And stress on your body can,
bro.
Yeah.
Yep. That's a good conversation. Do you have any other questions before we wrap?
No, you got some?
Nope, that's pretty much, we're going to leave it there. I think it was pretty much it.
I think so.
Because we did the wilderness last weekend. We talked about bleeding out this week. So, guys, thank you so much for tuning in with myself, Alika B, and my lovely co-host, Renee Burt. Until next week, this is the Valika B Project. What would the church say? We talked about bleeding out. Make sure you sign up for our daily inspirationals, the weekly inspirationals that we do have. Visit the ValikaBproject.com. And also visit us on any podcast platform as well. Until next time, fam, we love you and we will see you soon.